Sabrina Elba is a Canadian-born model, CEO and activist of Somali descent, passionate about empowering women and girls worldwide. She's a UN Global Ambassador for IFAD, an advocate for human rights and food security, and co-founder of the inclusive skincare brand Sable Labs with her husband Idris Elba, which focuses on responsibly sourced African botanicals and the needs of melanin-rich skin. Sabrina's work has earned her global recognition, including the TIME100 Impact Award and the Crystal Award from the World Economic Forum, reflecting on her commitment to equality, sustainability, and positive change. Sabrina, welcome. It is such a pleasure to have you here. I mean, oh my goodness, what a bio. That bio wins. It's like, I guess, in business and in your society impact work, what does power mean to you?
Oh my gosh, well, first of all, thank you genuinely so much for having me. It's always weird to hear someone read your bio out like that.
Well, it's a mega one.
But it's funny because I think we're so, sometimes, I mean, when I say I'm talking about myself and my husband, but sometimes your head's down, you're working, you're not really thinking about it from a bird's eye view or a big picture. And actually, I think impact for me really is just showing up and doing the work. And actually a great activist who's a fond friend of mine, Mick Sheldrick, who started Global Citizen, he's the one who said to me, 50% of advocacy is just showing up. And that really resonated with me. It was just taking the time to stand up, to speak for, to get into the rooms that deal with the issues that you care about. There are so many places that are so void of voices in this world that if we have the opportunity or the privilege to even take up some of that space, to be able to say something and people will listen, I think that's so important. For me, a lot of my advocacy started from rooted issues, to my heritage, to my upbringing, to my family, that they just feel like they kind of come naturally. Like if I wasn't talking about it, that would feel weirder. You know what I mean? So
was this something that you've seen from your parents or your family, that they always stood up for people around them and their communities?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to meet my mom, Luz. She's like one of the best activists I know, but like just a real humanitarian. Since I could remember, she's going back to Somalia. She left her country, just as it fell apart. So she watched the Civil War happen over TV. And she always wanted to go back and help and restore it to the place that she remembered. So that really gave her a drive and a passion to do all that she could for communities that were kind of caught up in that struggle. And I always found that really inspiring, but I don't think I realized how much it resonated with me when I was younger. I just found myself, being maybe in situations where I felt, no, what you're saying about Africans or what you're saying about this community isn't right, because I knew different. And not shying away from having those conversations is something that was probably drilled in from seeing her do all this work and have those conversations. A young person growing up in Canada, in West Coast Canada, I was the only African at my high school. I was the only Black girl at my high school.
That's insane.
I know, it's so weird, especially in London.
And you're only young. It's not like it was from
ages
the 1920s.
I know, it's really interesting. But I found myself always trying to fight a stereotype, because what happens when countries go through trauma, civil war, famine, strife, is that, some of the helping agencies or NGOs or organizations sometimes do this big call to action that can place people in those countries as, always looking for a handout or always needing some type of aid. And I think when you see those ads again and again, people think, oh my gosh, that's where starving Ethiopian came from when I was younger. I mean, I'm not even Ethiopian, but I heard that a lot in high school. And I just thought, those ads are
stereotypical.
It's exactly. It's promoting the wrong stereotype, because it was so different from what I knew of my family back home. People aren't waiting for a handout. They could be a victim of circumstance, but they are very hardworking. And actually, all they were really looking for was an investment and a voice to help stand up for them. So I just found myself having these really complex conversations at a really young age. And then, of course, that kind of fueled my work. And it's actually how I got into the agricultural work I do, which doesn't seem connected, but I'm sure we'll get to that.
We've got so much to talk about. And I guess you're right. You know, having the bravery to actually stand up and make your voice heard for a cause, there is a bravery behind it, because it's putting yourself out there, it's putting yourself open, it's exposing kind of insecurities about yourself. And, you know, there's a whole kind of breadth of inner voices that go on before you actually decide to stand up for a cause. So you are a very brave lady, 100%.
Oh, thank you. But I love that you said that it takes courage, because I think that's missing in today's world. I think it's really easy to get shot down when you speak up. And whether wrong or right, you know, I think we should always...
with social media, where, you know, you're subject to comments, and, you know, it's also kind of vulnerable, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what's the most powerful decision that you've ever made?
Well, you might be able to relate to this one. I think starting a business takes a lot of guts.
Yes, it does.
I think I was way over my head. You know, I think I had an idea of what it would be like, but nothing really prepares you for what it means to go out and actually start your own business.
Starting a business as a woman who's not had a business before, you are just open to so much scrutiny. But, you know, you started a truly successful business. You know, you must be so proud of yourself and proud of that decision. Yeah, it's obviously difficult, but, you know,
I wish we could high-five each other.
High-five.
We've done it, Luce. And it is very difficult. And I think there were a couple things in particular I found quite difficult. Was, I think, one, there's a massive educational curve when you go into beauty. It's not just, I mean, into any product or consumer goods, you need to know the product that you're selling in and out. You know, you need to sit down, educate yourself on not just the formulations, if it's beauty, but also the cogs of the business, your packaging. I mean, everything, right?
And also what makes it different.
Exactly. And what, you know,
because I guess you've entered a saturated market. You know, there's 1,000,000,001 skincare brands. There's 1,000,000,001, brands in my space as well. But it's kind of really knowing what makes your brand different.
Absolutely. And then, you know, going into our brand specifically, it was like, how do we get these amazing ingredients once we've decided on these formulations? And then no one tells you about the funding that you need and how to raise funding, because that's not something that you generally get prepared for in life. No one, you know, and there's just so much
that you just need.
You just need
it.
And again, it takes courage, and it takes you really believing in your idea. And I say to people who ask me, you know, should I start a business? What should I do? And I'm like, you need to believe you have the hottest, best thing on this planet, because that is the only way that idea will work. I hate to be this cheesy girl, but it really does come from my mom, but also strong women role models in my life. You know, I think there's a lot baked into having a very strong mother-daughter relationship. I mean, she was my constant inspiration, also a businesswoman in her own right. And I think for me, she definitely was this like mood board that I always had. And particularly because she had a confidence to her that was unwavering, despite people shooting her down or, you know, her own failings. She just had this like innate, well, it's fine, I'll make it work, or I'll do it. And it was this strong self-belief that I try to emulate if I can, that really does give me power now. And I watch Idris do the same thing. He believes in himself more than anyone. And I do think that that's kind of a key to success that people don't talk about enough. Like, self-belief to me is the fundamental place you should be getting your power from.
I guess they can because they think they can.
Exactly.
And I guess maybe in acting as well, you know, you have so many no's.
Yeah.
There are so many no's because nobody gets every part. So
Totally.
you've really got to have that fire to just start again.
That famous quote about, insanity, or I think it was Einstein's definition of insanity, is trying to do the same thing again and again and expecting a different result. And it makes me realize, like, creatives, people who have to hear no a lot, must be in some form insane, because they're doing the same thing, again and again.
Maybe people are telling them no. Listen.
Just don't
at least
listen.
He said yes to you.
Oh, he did. Well, technically I said yes to him.
Well, yeah, the other way around, yeah.
But he also has that strong self-belief. And I think if you're looking for power from outside things, you're always going to be relying on that thing. But if you look for power from your self-belief, you can rely on yourself. And I think that is such a beautiful thing.
And I think it's the power you create together. So like the protection around your home and the bubble that you have that can kind of, whatever else happens in the world, it just can't penetrate through.
Yeah, and it takes a little bit of a force field. I think you build that force field. You start within, and then you have the people in your life you care most about who then help you project it even further, because 2 voices are louder than 1, 3 is louder than 2, a village is louder than a group. You've got to find your community. But a lot of people, want to be part of a village, but don't want to be a villager. That takes, I always tell people, if you want to have great relationships in your life that help you get to that level of success or live out your dreams, well, then you've got to be willing to make the sacrifice and do the work in turn. It needs to be reciprocal, right? And I do think community is not only like the crux of everything I do, my business, but I do think it's something that's so valuable to so many people.
And what do you think is the most powerful piece of advice that you've ever received?
I say this one a lot, but it's definitely my mom telling, oh God, I talk about my mom so much, don't I, Lucy?
But she'll be very proud. It's not even Mother's Day.
or her head will get really big after this interview. But she was the one who told me to not be afraid to speak up. And I think there was a moment in the beginning of my relationship with Idris particularly, where because I was kind of thrown into a bit of a spotlight, that I shied away. And I thought, no one wants to hear what I have to say. Oh God, I'm just the wife, and it was literally my mom who basically slapped me and said, are you crazy? You have a platform. You have an opportunity to use your voice. You should never shy away from that. And I was like, she's so right. I mean, it's the most powerful tool we have is our voice.
Can I meet your mum? Can your mum come and work here?
I think my mom would want to meet you. She loves
Let's
her
give
LYMA.
your mum a laser.
Oh, she's got one. Of course she's got one.
She's got one.
She does.
As a Black woman in the beauty industry, you are pushing boundaries, both as a founder and with your products. What obstacles have you come up against?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I will say, so, there's a kind of stigma, I think, that follows Black-owned brands where we sometimes assume it's only for one community. So, for instance, if you look at K-beauty as a category, I don't think anyone would go, oh, I think that's only for Koreans. But if you look but if you look at Black-owned beauty, A-beauty, which is what we do, African beauty, I think there sometimes can be a stereotype, oh, I think that's for darker skin. I'm not sure if I can use it. And I always wonder why that is. For our brand, we tried really hard to flip the industry on its head because in my own personal experience, I realized that a lot of products were just falling short of what my skin needed because melanin-rich skin needs just a little bit more. So when we created our range, we called it melanin inclusive because it goes that extra mile, which actually just makes it better for everyone. But we faced that stereotype where it was a bit like, oh, Black founder, Black brand, I don't know if this is for me. And the argument I'm telling people, you should see our clinicals. It's actually better for you. It takes longer on Black skin to go through issues like hyperpigmentation and, skin barrier health because our skin's slightly more sensitive. So I always found that slightly weird, but I get it, retailers put us in separate aisles. You go into like a Target. And
I always think
it's confusing.
You don't walk into a supermarket and there's kind of separate food for men, separate food for women, there is separate food for children, but it's only because it's marketed that way. But, as humans, we all eat the same food.
Exactly.
And we've all got the same organs.
Skin.
We've all got the same hormones and we've all got the same skin. And it's just, it's really kind of... it's so kind of limited to think like that.
I think so
And yes,
too, yeah.
the amount of melanin in the skin does affect how different products work, but fundamentally, it's the same skin. It's like
Yeah.
with the LYMA laser. Actually, the LYMA laser works slightly quicker on black skin
Oh,
because
it's so nice to hear.
it absorbs light quicker. So
Right.
there's slight variances, but it's an inclusive technology for everybody.
Right.
So I guess that it's important to break down that kind of restriction on your business, because
Yeah.
fundamentally it's for everyone that wants healthy skin.
Yeah, exactly. And it is about breaking that down. And I also think it's such a missed opportunity for people who haven't experienced African botanicals. I just want to be like, no, come in, give it a try. You'll love them. You'll love baobab. You'll love okra. And that exploration is something I've become really passionate about teaching and educating people on, because I just think they get so excited once they realize, no, you can use it. Try a new texture.
Well,
Try something
look
new.
at all the botanicals that come out of India.
Exactly.
Do only people from India take ashwagandha?
No,
Do you know what I mean?
exactly.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's insane,
Yeah, it is a weird one, isn't it? But
the world is global.
You can't blame people, because I do think it's a little bit of that retailer issue. It's past marketing. It's a bit of stereotype. But what we have been, totally set on doing is just breaking that stereotype down. So thank you for letting us speak about it, actually, because I think the more we talk about it, the more people know.
The more we help people.
Exactly.
What would you like your powerful legacy in beauty to be?
Oh, I always say that, like, if I could have something on my tombstone, I just want it to say that she cared.
Oh my God, let's not be negative with the tombstone. Let's just think of it like as a Tracy Emin light in your living room.
Or the lifetime award that you get while you're still alive.
An Oscar Achievement Award, yeah.
I want it to be that I cared. That I care, and I will always go the extra mile for people I care about, but I also feel a responsibility to share not only products that are inclusive, but products that don't disrupt anyone's, endocrines or cause any, have any carcinogenics in it, or just don't damage the planet any further. I just feel a responsibility to do this if I'm going to do it the right way.
You are such a good person, honestly.
Aww.
Your mum did a good job, is doing a good job.
Lucy, we got on like hotcakes, so I think that says something about, both of us together.
My mum
That's really
wasn't
nice.
bad either. Thank you, Mum. You're also a powerful advocate of young people, and obviously an activist. So where does your drive for that come from? Is it your mum again, or is it somebody?
Interesting. Like, I actually think it was probably more just the experience that I had received doing the philanthropic work that I had, just being educated on how important it is for children's education, children's nutrition, and why all these things matter for us, actually. The future generations are saving grace. They unfortunately have been put in the position where they will have to save us. We're not saving them. It's actually the opposite way around. So I think that's made me increasingly passionate, especially in my climate work, about not only helping them retain some hope, but trying to equip them with the right set of tools to be able to take on that burden, because it's such a massive burden.
It is. I think, especially for young people, I always think of young people kind of growing up today with the pressures of, kind of aesthetics and surgery and fillers and, like all of this kind of the pressure to change your face at a young age.
Oh my God, I know.
What do you think about all of that? I mean,
oh gosh,
as somebody in the beauty industry.
I'm feeling it. I can't imagine being like 17 on Instagram, trying to, looking at everyone's deep planes and like,
looking at everyone's deep.
Oh my days. But you know what concerns me more actually than what's happening in real time is AI, because all of a sudden I have all of these gorgeous women on my feed who aren't even real. They're not even real. And I go, oh my God, she's insanely gorgeous. And I look and I'm like,
it's got hashtag AI at the end of it.
And I'm like, that just what we needed as women. Another layer of probably what's designed by a man to just give us this unattainable.
Judging by the way that they look, I'd say
Oh
that they
my
were
days.
definitely designed by a man. The way that they're dressed.
I agree. The way that they're dressed, particularly.
The way that they're dressed.
Oh my God. And I just remember thinking, like, how do you, because that's what you grow up with. That's what you learn as a young person. And then that, I think, will push the beauty business and the cosmetics business to then start appealing and marketing to that, where I'm almost like, no, we had this like shift back where it was like, make what you have great. And actually that's one of the things I love about the LYMA device is it's this amazing way to love your own skin. You know, keep your skin healthy, do the best you can for your skin rather than trying to go out and get another version of yourself to then copy and paste onto your face. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's like, let's work with what we have and change your whole body.
And wear an insane outfit.
Exactly. And if you want to do that, fine. But I do think we need to look at ourselves and love ourselves. Like self-love is so important. And that's so hard to do with so many unattainable beauty standards that are just floating around today.
You're so right. And moving on to another form of love, Christmas. So to wrap up, let's talk about Christmas.
It's coming.
It is coming. And our campaign this Christmas is actually all I want for Christmas is youth.
I love that.
And I wanted to...
That's so smart. Yeah, it's a very good line.
And I wanted to ask you how it is that you stay looking and feeling youthful ahead of such like a bonkers holiday season, like a lovely holiday season, but a busy one.
Well, thank you for implying that I look youthful. I will
you are youthful compared to me. I'm nearly an OAP.
No, but I think I have a slight advantage with the amount of melanin in my skin. But I think youth for me is so much more a feeling than it is the way you look, because you can have two women the same age, and one's, done all the things and she looks young, but she's, got this just old attitude, and that she doesn't, she doesn't try to live through her life with the same vigor and energy. And I always want to be that person. I want to be someone who, age is just a number. I'm going to go out. I'm going to have fun. It totally is. But I love that line because I think youth to me represents that feeling of like, how we were when we were young, brave and just courageous and spontaneity
and naivety as well.
And I'm wanting to learn. I think once you hang your coat up and go, all right, well, I've done it all and I'm over it. That's just the wrong way to do it. And, it's never too late to start something, to go on a new path, to start a new dream, to start a business. It's never too late. You have founders well into their 40s and 50s starting unicorns.
I started LYMA at 46.
Exactly. And look at you. There you go. And I think that is the standard. That is the gold standard, is to never, ever feel like it's too late. Because actually, you're way smarter than
when you're a bit older.
Absolutely.
You've got to have the experience.
Absolutely.
So how do Christmas presents work in your house? Do you write a very strict list for your husband, or do you like to be surprised?
I love that. It's funny because I don't even celebrate Christmas personally, but Idris is so good in that we always do gifts. And I try very hard not to prescribe gifts. But between us, I know our personal shopper, the one that he uses, and I sometimes whisper in her ear, just sometimes. And I'm like, if he ever mentions this thing, maybe guide him a bit this way. But there, I think Idris knows me so well now. There's just some brands that I love, and I think for me, like, he knows there's some things I will never buy myself, and the same for him, because we're just not very, we try not to focus too much on material things, although it is very hard because I'm obsessed in the fashion world. I love fashion, but
what do you want for Christmas then? Let's just put it out here.
Should I put it out there?
Let's put it out here.
Anything Jessica McCormick. Oh my gosh, she is my favorite. If you don't know Jessica McCormick, and if you're a man and you're listening and you don't know Jessica McCormick,
Well, let's all look it up now.
Yeah, I think everyone should just write a note and put it in their husband's path for LYMA and Jessica McCormick. That's what they should do, because that would be a fab Christmas present, wouldn't it?
Does Idris wear your skincare? Is he into skincare?
And funny enough, we founded the brand together. So a lot of the uses for the bottles and how efficient the line is, that's actually all inspired by conversations with him, because he was like, why do I need a pad for my toner? And I was like, you're right, you don't. We can just put it in a spray. Or, the products being so multifunctional, multi-purpose. That was him. Or them being long so he could find it in his gym bag. I mean, he's had such an influence on the brand, which is great. His influence was so much for me an unlearning of marketing, because I was like, you're right, we don't need that. You're right, we don't need that. Because so much marketing jargon's in our heads, especially when it comes to like pink tax on beauty. But he uses all of Sable now and he looks great. So it was a massive upgrade for him from, like Vaseline, which is all he was using.
Vaseline and soap.
Vaseline
actually,
and
so
soap.
many men steal the LYMA laser for, the wife is using it in bed, and then they
it's so
grab
funny.
it and they use it.
I'm hiding it from him. I don't want him to find it yet, because also I want to keep my charge longer, and I just know he won't take care of it, or maybe he'll break it. I'm hiding it, but the second he discovers it, I mean, he just has, what's great about it for me is I do a lot of Zoom calls, and I can turn my camera off and just be LYMAing while I'm on a call.
That's what I do. Like I do my jaw during I was just like always doing this.
Oh, I love that. That's why your jaw is so snatched.
Ride it up.
That is why you're so snatched. I know.
Lots of meetings.
And
then I look and I've just thought, you need to get two. And I've actually got two.
Oh, you see? That is the ultimate use case. Two.
That is like, because actually it's quite annoying, because if I'm in a meeting, I can just feel that one side of my face looks more lifted, and then I have to do the other side.
Right. Just to get it right.
Anyway, these are such easy problems to solve.
Absolutely. Congratulations on everything you've built. And it's an honor, really, to speak to yourself. You are, to me, one of my business icons. So I really appreciate it.
I had to live up to it.
Absolutely. No, I think you have.
Well, no, what you have done is so brave, and it's so powerful, and I love your products. I love your products. Thanks. I can safely say that the way that they give your skin like a cashmere feel, the way that they seep in, I quite like it.
Oh, I love that.
But no, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today, and
absolutely
wishing you a lovely end to the year.
You too, and a happy Christmas if I don't see you.
Thank you so much for speaking to us today and sending you so much love.
And love to everyone at the office. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
See you.